All right, so this is lesson 2.1, Introduction to Ecosystems. And this is a little list of what we're going to cover in this video. So let's get started. So ecosystem, what is an ecosystem? It's all of the living organisms that share a region and interact with each other and their non-living environment. So if you look at this picture, we can identify things that are part of an ecosystem that are alive, like the flowers and the trees, and some things that are not alive, such as this rock. So examples of ecosystems include things like swamps, coral reefs, tropical rainforests. All these are ecosystems. So ecosystems are made of both living or once living, so they could have been alive and are now dead, organic things, or non-organic, non-living, never living components like wind, rocks, etc. The organic components are called biotic factors. Remember, bio, like biosphere, are all the living things. The non-organic components are called abiotic. A as a prefix means not, so not living. All right, take a minute and consider a park that might be near your home. Brainstorm at least 5 biotic and 5 abiotic factors that you might find in that park. So take a minute and put that right in your notes. And another chance to practice. I want you to label each one of these as either abiotic or biotic. Individual organisms from many species share an ecosystem. And the example ecosystem we have here is a lake. And you can see we have birds, trees, fish, insects. All of these organisms share the same ecosystem. When you put groups of an individual species together, so all of the fish that were in that pond, or all of the herons that lived in that pond, all of those individuals of that one species make up a population. So in this picture, the population would be humans. Oh, sorry, that's just one species, and it's all of them together. Community. So community are the individuals from all populations. So a community would be all of the herons, all of the fish, all of the dragonflies that live near that pond. So that's the community. It's all the populations living together. So an ecosystem really is the community and its interactions with the abiotic factors. So it is all of the fish and all of the herons and all of the dragonflies living together, interacting with the sunshine and the water and the rocks. Ecosystem encompasses all of that. So here is a great picture. We have our deer. So that's the single organism. We have a population of deer. We have a community that involves the deer and the butterfly and the grass and the trees and the wolf. And we have an ecosystem where I'm looking at all those species, but I'm also thinking about the rocks and the water and the sunshine and the air. So when we describe an ecosystem, if we're talking about details of that ecosystem, we think about what organisms live there, what temperature range they need to survive, and what type of precipitation, so rain or snowfall. So you can think of this as the organisms and the climate. Sustainability. So this is the ability to maintain an ecological balance. It's kind of like homeostasis in the human body. So most ecosystems are sustainable. That means that they maintain a relatively constant set of characteristics over a long period of time. So they have, for example, consistent temperature, temperature, precipitation, plant animal life, etc. All of that stays basically the same over long periods of time. However, this is where humans come in. So human actions often disrupt the biotic and abiotic factors in an ecosystem. So they disrupt the balance that ecosystem maintains when they don't have human interference. So some ways that we do this: pollution, cutting down trees, building cities. These are all ways that humans disrupt how ecosystems function. So the actions of humans can make a previously sustainable ecosystem unsustainable. So an oil spill greatly disrupts a previously stable ecosystem. And that is, you can see the unfortunate oil slick on the surface of the water there. It directly impacts wildlife, so it may kill the wildlife, but it also disrupts the water and other organisms that depend on having clean water. So ecosystems are usually naturally created, meaning humans were not involved in the development of those ecosystems. But we do have ecosystems that are created and maintained by humans. So examples of that include parks, farms, etc. And these ecosystems are usually not sustainable, meaning that they're not going to continue to function without management. So think about if you have a farm and you just abandoned that farm, walked away from it for 3 years and came back, would it look the same or would it be different? So in your notes, you're going to do a little reflection and give me some thoughts about what happens to human-created ecosystems if left without maintenance.